Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. It's Jillian. Um, wow. Oh, that's right. I got some stuff to do this morning too. Shit. Yeah. Wow. Um, so I woke up to this morning, just reading some of the news stuff, and yes, the coronavirus is here. I mean, no, we don't have confirmation here in Ohio, but I'm seeing people in my state trickling in with their sending thoughts and prayers because they're having trouble breathing, they're needing to go to the ER, or they're looking for their steroid medication because they haven't used their asthmatic inhalers in a long time. I have friends that are older, that are now in critical condition in the hospital. Um, there are people even in Florida that's not even confirmed that have just passed away all of a sudden. She had COPD, that was her predisposition. Well, people have been dealing with COPD for years with the flu virus, and they haven't dropped like flies from the flu. Why now? Why today? You know, um, this is this, and from as young as toddler, where they're just like unresponsive in Australia to all points in between. I mean, that guy, what is it, Ed Alshoff, or um, that news reporter passing away from pneumonia back in December 26th, right? In December 8th is when they knew that the virus was out there. Yeah, you guys, this is no freaking joke. And the Moss Stewart says, time to see what Jilly Juice is made of to see how it holds up. Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, this is what I experienced a couple weeks, like about a month ago, a little less than that. I had mucus pouring out of my body. I was coughing up a storm. It came out of nowhere. Right now, my husband is feeling some symptoms. He's feeling kind of hot and cold. Like I kind of felt a little hot every so often. Maybe he's a little bit more tired. This can hang on for a month, and you can get reinfected. When you get this virus come out of nowhere and you have predispositions, you better have the juice already made so you can give your body the support to pour the mucus out of your body and do the freaking waterfalls. When you have that much rapid antibody accumulation, because my husband's been, having some diarrhea and stuff like that. That's one of the symptoms. Okay. And he's not on J juice. This is just straight up dealing with whatever virus that's unconfirmed. He's not going to go to the hospital and get it tested. But he's dealing with some virus, that's not taking him down because he's pretty strong. But it's exactly what I felt. Now, I didn't have diarrhea, but I felt tired this last month. January, I was feeling tired. Okay. So this virus has been known since December 8th. And then January, I was fighting something. I didn't know what it was. I thought maybe it's my period, but I didn't get my period. But then the guys got hit with the flu, and another household got hit with the flu, and my husband on Super Bowl weekend. But then I got my period, and this was right on my birthday. And I didn't think I was gonna get my period because I felt so amazing, even though, yeah, I felt like I was tired. But I'm thinking like, okay, when I'm tired. But that's the thing. This type of virus is persistent. It's not going to stop. And if you have respiratory predispositions, because let me read something that India's now finally dealing with this, and they have a lot of people in their place, obviously. But I've been telling you guys this, rapid antibody accumulation is what drowns people. This is like called the pneumonic plague, I guess somebody has characterized this, because it attacks your respiratory system. But if you have heart and kidney issues and brain issues and cardiovascular issues like heart issues, that rapid accumulation will clog up your arteries and capillaries. And then, kids are going to be affected as well because they have predispositions. Adults with predispositions are going to be affected. I mean, this is the angel of death, and you better have what it takes. And that's why I keep telling you, fucking Jilly Juice, you guys. It's going to give you the damn support to get that mucus out. So, so there are biochemical indicators that a number of the body's organ systems are likely affected, and you have an inflammatory response. that is disrupting their function to some extent, Schaffner said. I'm just giving you a quote. Don't exercise, just do the Jilly Juice, Stephanie. You should go about your life. Yes, don't stop your life, but don't exercise. Okay, that's going to cause more inflammation. You need to just do the Jilly Juice and let the mucus come out, and you have to heal. You got to give your body the rest. It's going to go through a battle right now. The environment is very aggressive. The lung, the heart, the liver, the kidneys, and the systems that control blood clotting are all affected, Schaffner said, though it is not clear that the virus itself infects organs other than the lungs. But if you have predispositions and you have rapid antibody accumulation, okay, you need to get that stuff out, because when you have rapid antibody accumulation, it'll affect other things. That's what autoimmunity is. When your immune system is creating antibodies, even when there's no, major event, but you have a major event in your body that is constantly contributing and creating antibodies, that's autoimmunity, okay? And so what the system does is they try to put people on chemotherapy or some other type of stuff to kind of suppress the immune system, but it leaves you open, okay? It leaves you open. The inflammatory response is a hallmark of a serious viral disease, he said, adding that in recent years it's become apparent that heightened inflammation from disease like the flu can persist for a month or so after the acute illness is gone, and can increase the risk of heart attacks and strokes in older people. Okay, now here's the thing. I have friends that have just recently dealt with heart attacks. I have people who are in very weak stages that I don't even want to visit, because I'm a strong person. And even though I had that attack a couple weeks ago, I could still be communicable, but I'm not going to stop my life. My husband, I know, is dealing with it now. If I were to go to a friend's house who just recently had a heart attack, I don't want to be responsible for anybody's, having it lay around, because it doesn't die in 4 hours. It can stay alive for 9 hours on surfaces. Okay, you guys have to do the Jilly Juice, because what's going to do, it's going to help. You're going to have to heal from the ground up, inside out. You have no fucking choice now. Either you see if you have enough what it takes to stand up to this damn virus, or you freaking heal your body, all of your body, not just trying to stop the coronavirus, but you're going to have to deal with every predisposition you've ever had your whole life. It's just like put up or shut up now. Okay, but you have to get the mucus out. And so that's one of the things I'm concerned with my husband, because I'm seeing the indicators of what I had to deal with followed up to where I had that attack. And yeah, I was kind of feeling hot and cold a little bit, like almost like hot flashes. But I went through my healing symptoms early on with the hot flashes, so I don't have those anymore. And I just had my period, which I wasn't expecting because I felt so good. And then the day that those guys got taken down by a gastrointestinal issue from massive diarrhea from whatever bug, okay, that's when I got my period, which is like, it's a little too coincidental, I think. Okay, but this is afflicting people who are 2 years old all the way to 92 years old. And if you have bronchial issues and asthma and all that stuff, forget it. You could try to sequester yourself, but at some point right now, there's CDC quarantine stations all over the US. The one that's nearest to us is in Michigan, in Detroit, Michigan. And Detroit's already dealing with that. They have people coming over from overseas because it's airborne. It's been confirmed, and it can live 9 hours on surfaces. People are carriers. Animals will be carriers. Everything. It's in the air. You can't get away from it. People are suspecting the chemtrails, which, okay, I can't confirm or deny that. It's still speculation. But we know that people are carriers, and we're taking in people from China because we're not going to leave them there where people are getting forcibly taken from their homes and being put in quarantine, and bodies are being burned over there. So we have to allow our Americans to come home, and we have to deal with it. This is insane. And that's just why, you need to go and get a bunch of food. Now, don't worry about panicking. You don't need to panic. No one's going to, because here's the thing. Everyone's going to be battling this thing within themselves. You start feeling something and you're around people. You can't be afraid of people either. I mean, it's like a wave. There's going to be waves of this going through, and you're going to see people around you drop like flies, and you're going to have to expect it. And if you know somebody is in is very weak and is in sort of like recovering or in a condition where you don't want to be that thing to tip the scales, don't visit them. They might not like you. They may think you're being overreactive, but I don't know how communicable I am. And even the Spaniards that came off the ships coming into the Indians, okay, they were feeling great, and those Indians were like laid flat by the exposure of the Spaniards, and they were feeling fine. Okay, so that's kind of how it is. Now I know my friends of mine have been around people, but I don't know to what extent people are as far as communicable. I just know that I dealt with a major virus attack that was nothing like the flu. Okay, but I'm also on Jilly juice, so my body is able to protect itself from major invasion to where it causes anomalies, and that's where all the mucus was pouring out, and I was coughing and coughing, but I wasn't sick. Other people on my Facebook doing the J juice felt the same thing. They were coughing and coughing. Some were sick for 3 days, others were sick for maybe 3 weeks. Okay, but I was only sick for 18 to 24 hours. Okay, now, yeah, you can. Now, the thing with what Moss Stewart said, go about your life, can't stay secluded, use preventative measures. Yeah, you can use a mask, but it's in the air. I mean, you can wear a hazmat suit, but you're going to have to deal with it. And so if you're going to have to deal with it, because you can't be like in a bubble forever, you're going to have to strengthen your body. And let me tell you, do not be taking the kombuchas, the apple cider vinegars, the cannabis. Don't be taking any of these antivirals that people are selling to you or telling you in these freaking groups, colloidal silver and all this crap, because those are antibiotics or anti-life. They will cause more antibody acquisition because you have imbalances already and weaknesses. And so when you suppress your immune system to stop the mucus coming out, guess what? You're building up the antibodies that you're not releasing. And you already have a compromised system anyway, so you're not even releasing properly even prior to taking those crappy things that the holistic market is peddling. Okay? You have to allow your body to take in the proper chemistry. And that is the cabbage and the kale pre-digested down to, or fermented down to a pre-digested state with the salt. Now, I said pink Himalayan salt, but no, you can use regular. I got this salt for $7.25 for a 50-pound bag, straight up sodium chloride. There is nothing except for an anti-caking agent that's added into it. And then guess what? I will get my trace minerals from the dishware that I use when I cook in a pan, the aluminum and whatever. I get my trace minerals from the air, the food, the water, the tap water. I don't distill my water. I will get all my minerals from my environment. And the sodium chloride is what I will get to then trigger the electrical impulses to my brain and everywhere else to make sure that I'm properly protected. It's like having an electric fence. When you turn off the electric fence in an area that is very aggressive, you're open. So the salt is like an electrified fence in a very aggressive area. You cannot, so if you want to stock up on stuff, stock up on salt. Find your local salt, you don't need to buy a $200, $300 pound bag of pink Himalayan salt, because I'm telling you, we don't know how long this global economy is going to, we don't know when it's going to actually affect you, because Pakistan is what mines the pink Himalayan salt. So now you must go local. Find your local salt distributor that does wholesale for water filtration companies, people who do landscaping because of plowing and salting the sidewalks. You can get food grade for very, very inexpensive. That's going to be your protection. And then, you have people that grow locally. I mean, I'm in Ohio and I have local growers, the Amish, as well as we have our own agriculture here. I don't have to depend upon another state or another country to ship in my food. Okay, I could eat Chef Boyardee if I have to, but get reconstituted, get a bunch of rice. I mean, I have like 9 pounds of rice, but we don't know how long all this stuff is going to be. So just I'm not saying that society is going to shut down, but when people start realizing how severe this is, they're going to want to be shopping more for food because they don't know what to expect. I mean, the preppers out there are going to be buying canned food and all that stuff, just hoarding and stocking. Because right now, I mean, at this point, the truckers are doing just in time. They don't have in Walmart and these grocery stores, they don't have huge storage space because it costs money. So they have just in time truckers that come in once a week to bring in their pallets and their loads, and they forecast it based upon, you know, projections from last year of how much people buy at whatever given time during the year. But you're going to see a surge now of people getting items that are non-perishable. Okay? So you guys, you got to take this seriously. Do the J juice. Get a bunch of cabbage. Get a bunch of kale. You have the tap water. Okay? I have 100 pounds of salt. Okay, 100 pounds of salt, white salt. You don't need to worry about the pink Himalayan salt. Just find the white salt in your iodized or not. I don't care because it's all minerals. Okay, that your body's going to absorb what it needs and release the excess, but you need the salt. That is the most important. I have sugar. I mean, get a bunch of flour, I guess. It's like it's so hard to here's the thing, you know, we don't know what's going to happen, but right now you're seeing the start of people exhibiting major symptoms. Okay, so now's the time not to fuck around. Do the J juice. I mean, right now I am so like concerned with my husband because I know, but he's a fighter, so we'll see what happens. And then Stephanie Ann goes, is there a way to store cabbage without a fridge? You don't, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know, here's the thing, Stephanie. Make the juice. Yeah, there's a way to store the cabbage without the fridge. You make the juice. Fermentation is the ultimate preservative. Okay? Make a bunch of the juice. Get a bunch of gallon jars. Okay, Stephanie Ann? Get a bunch of gallon jars. A bunch. And you make a bunch. Okay? And I don't know where you are in the protocol or where you are in the healing process, but if you only do a little bit a day, you're going to have constipation. So you need to be doing waterfalls, which means you'll be taking in a lot more, which you'll be using a lot more. So in the beginning, you're going to be using a lot of the J juice, a lot. Okay. And so, and you're going to be dealing with healing. You're going to have to deal with healing and everything that you've ever had, all the antibodies that are locked up in your body that's causing all your anomalies are going to come to surface. And yeah, you're going to be communicable because when you're releasing excess antibodies through the mucus as well as through waterfalls and maybe on your skin, if you have skin issues, you're going to be communicable. Why they have the holistic industry and the allopathic industry is because they're trying to suppress the antibodies deep in your body, which is destroying people. So you're not communicable until the body tries to release it, and then the system tries to press it down back into your body again, which then further destroys you like friendly fire. And so the J juice is releasing it, which means that you're going to be communicable. Right now, people are communicable because the body is getting an overabundance of an antigen that the body's trying to release. So you're seeing an exacerbation in psoriasis, eczema. People are mucusing everywhere. They're having diarrhea because the body is trying to get rid of it. Okay, so make gallons and gallons and gallons of this. That's how you store the cabbage without a refrigerator. Because yes, I mean, I have it in the refrigerator as far as my juice, but if you have really airtight jars, you won't attract too many. And plus, right now it's relatively cold, but in really hot weather, yeah, if you have some air leakage, which does happen in some jars, it's going to attract pestilence. And some people have experienced where, you know, they had maggots crawling not in the jar, but around the jar, on top, underneath, and it was kind of gross. Okay, so at some point, but I'm not saying that we're going to have like an interruption in your electricity, so don't go there too much, Stephanie. Okay, I'm thinking someone's going to be around to keep the lights on. Okay, we don't want to completely get everybody panicked, but have enough supplies to where if people do start buying up more stuff and they start realizing the severity of the situation and they don't know what to expect. Some people go a little bit off the deep end, and you have a lot of people going off the deep end trying to buy a bunch of stuff. You got to get your share. Okay, you don't want it to be like, dude, there's nothing left on the shelf. Okay. Hold on, I gotta blow my nose. But make a bunch of the juice. Have, the fresh fruits and vegetables is not always going to be obvious. So get a bunch of cans. Remember, if you can't get fresh, or if the fresh is just really getting expensive or something, get canned fruits and vegetables. That's perfectly fine on the J juice, especially in these times. Canned meat, get the canned chicken, canned tuna. I don't care what it is, but have the J juice. Right now, we can't afford to be too choosy. Get whatever you can to keep canned food, and J juice is perfect. Okay? It's the perfect combination in something such as this. So, and prepare to start healing. I mean, it's better late than never, right? You're going to have to heal at some point. Some of you wanted to wait till the last minute. Well, here's the last minute, babes. And some of you have people that are not doing the J juice in your home, and my husband's a very strong dude, and this is gonna knock him for a loop when it actually really, because it could be an incubation for a few weeks, up to a month from exposure. Okay, so you don't know how it's going to affect someone. And luckily, my husband doesn't have a major dispositions, yes, stuff in his family, but he's been relatively healthy over the years. So it's just, you guys, this isn't a joke. This really isn't. I'm not saying that you think it's a joke, but this is pretty crazy. I'm concerned for my parents. I'm concerned for my sisters. I'm concerned with my in-laws. I'm concerned for everybody that is dealing with an illness that they've been able to manage, but they were not expecting an aggressive environment such as this. And there's going to be no vaccine until 2021. Okay? The vaccine could at least give people some stay of execution. It could slow down the antibody acquisition by an attenuated version of the actual virus. But it's not going to be ready for a while. Some people say, oh, it's a depopulation agenda. And here's the thing. I don't doubt that somebody influenced this in some way. Biowarfare is a possibility, yes. Who it is, I have no idea. All I know is that we've been doing great for the last couple of years, and then now, holy crap, this is not like the flu, okay? Hey, Connie, thanks. This is not like the flu. This is something far more serious that people need to take seriously, okay? So, if we're already seeing that Michigan is already dealing with people coming in from another country that has this virus, it's already in the environment. It's airborne. It jumps. Yeah. Okay, so you guys do the J juice. Let the mucus flow. If you have to go to a hospital, go to a hospital. But I'm going to tell you this, once you go to a hospital, if you are that asthmatic and that horrific as far as you can't breathe, you need the oxygen. Okay, you need the oxygen. That's why I do the J juice now, to then preemptively bring everything to surface to where you feel like, holy crap, so you can go to the hospital now and get support while you're healing, okay, before the hospital fills up. I mean, that's kind of how it, but I'm not saying that you're going to have that situation where you're going to have to go to the hospital being on J juice, but I don't know some of your severities. And when you're bringing up antibodies, okay, when you're bringing up antibodies to then release, it's going to come through your respiratory system. You're going to be blowing your nose. You have to poop. Okay? And so this now more than ever, I'm telling you, this is crazy. This is freaking insane. So, but it's all very timely. Remember, antibody acquisition is what causes people to die and drown in their own fluids, what causes people to die from heart attacks, strokes, and brain aneurysms. Because the amount of antibody accumulating in the bloodstream, as well as destroying the organs. When someone has autoimmune disorders, it's because the body is overproducing antibodies because of situations in their body, the weaknesses, more than weaknesses. They have major emergency situations they're managing with drugs, but it's also building up antibodies. And when you have the rate of antibodies being created faster than the rate of release, you're going to have an issue on your hands. And now you have a more aggressive virus in the environment. You have more aggressive issues in the environment, it's going to cause more antibodies. Yes, Stephanie, and if you don't drink a lot and get waterfalls, yes, you will get constipated. Because remember, you have years and years and years of poop in your colon, in your intestines, and in all the places. And when you are when you're cleaning out all the jetsam and flotsam and you only take a little bit of juice and you're not getting waterfalls, you're going to feel the pressure. You're going to have to drink to get the waterfalls to push it out. It's like when you're cleaning the pipes in your house, that there's like clogs here and clogs there and caked on minerals here and caked on minerals there. Then you bring in a very, very aggressive chemical type of thing, but it's not aggressive enough. So then you start seeing the blockage, and then you need to have more of a force, like a water or stronger chemicals. And Lysol is not going to help Moss Stewart. At this point, that's not going to work. Then when you bring in the force to come in, it then will release all of that blockage. That's what J juice does. It basically cleans your colon and everything out, all of your cells out, and then all that garbage that's in your cells and in your body is going to be then going to the exit points, ear, nose, and throat, everything, all your exit points. And the thing for Moss Stewart, Lysol is not going to stop. It's already in the air. It's already in the air. You've already breathed it in. Now it's just taking up residence. Yes, it can be on surfaces, but when you go someplace, yeah, you can try to be very, very careful. But let me tell you, the more careful you are, the more that virus is going to be persistent. What you resist is going to persist. Don't resist the virus, you guys. Embrace it, but support your body. You can do all the preventative measures, but it's not going to work. It's not. Okay? You have to do the waterfalls. You have to get the mucus out. You have to bring in the right chemistry, especially for those that don't have a very strong predisposition. Some of you have very weak predispositions, and you can't afford to do that. Yeah, it's already everywhere stuff. Yeah, you're right. If I felt the freaking attack that was so out of the blue, so like, holy crap, a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? My husband's like, what the hell? I'm like, it was like being choked in my sleep. I'm telling you, it was like being choked in my sleep. A lesser of a person would have drowned in their own fluids because the amount of mucus that was pouring out of me a couple weeks ago. Okay? So you guys have to now realize that this is part of your environment and you're going to have to adapt. Okay? And yeah, I mean, if you're weak and you feel like you have to use Lysol or use all these anti-whatever or disinfectants, forget it. You're not going to survive this. That's why, I said a couple transmissions ago that when I was at the hospital waiting for a friend's diagnosis, I took in all the viruses in the environment. I was eating at the cafeteria. There's a hair in my food, but I'm like, whatever. And I pulled the hair out, still ate my food. I'm like, whatever. I mean, look, I'm going to get whatever is out there. I know this. And so you're going to have to basically deal with your environment. So that's the whole point of Jade, is where you're not afraid to touch a surface, afraid to shake somebody's hand. But then if they're weak and you're strong, you're going to destroy them. See, that's the thing about it, is that you guys that are doing the J juice, you're going to be bringing up all your antibodies, all of the crap that you've been harboring inside, and you're going to be communicable, and you get around people that are weaker than you, especially with this coronavirus. Yeah, you're going to be destroying them. That's the reality of it. The strong are going to destroy the weak, and that is pretty much appropriate in any situation. The strong will overtake the weak. You guys have to be strong. Everyone is responsible for themselves. But if you can try to keep yourself away from people that you know are weak, then you do that. Especially if you know that this is already out there and it's just a matter of time. But you don't want to feel that as soon as you visited them and you left them and all of a sudden they had a freaking another attack or something else that would happen. I can't be responsible for that. I would feel so fucking horrible. I want to visit my friend that had a heart attack. But I do not want to be responsible in case I'm still communicable. Because remember, you touch anything. Okay. And yeah, you could do all the Lysol stuff, but it's not guaranteed. That's the thing about it. So, this is something you guys have to realize how crazy this virus is. So I don't know. I'm just tripping. Seriously, I'm tripping. But you guys have hope. But you have to heal. You have to deal with the mucus, which is all the antibodies. I already posted on my Facebook. If you keep going down my timeline, I have a lot of crap. But I talk about antibodies that are in mucus. The mucus stops the antibodies from glomming on and then infecting you. Okay? So the body will keep enough antibodies to protect you, but it will release the excess. When you test positive on a titer test, it means you have a lot of antibodies that could potentially hurt you in the future. But it shows the government that you have some sort of protection, that you can handle the environment and you're not dead from the exposure. That's why the government wants people to get vaccines, because they want to see that you can handle your environment. You're not going to die on contact. Okay? But with the J juice, you're going to be releasing antibodies. But you've already been exposed. You've already been exposed to the environment. You've already been exposed to the virus, and you still can handle it. So you're showing that you are fine. So that's why they test people. Stephanie, I almost want to get it. Well, Stephanie goes, I almost want to get it so I can stop stressing about it, but maybe I should try to avoid as long as possible. You could try to avoid, but you don't know what to avoid. Unless you're in a hermetically sealed type of house where there's no air coming in. You already been exposed to it. Now you just got to, no matter what, your immune system will be prepared as soon as you do the J juice. Okay? As soon as you do the J juice, you're going to have symptoms. That's the body trying to heal. And it means that every single predisposition, every single virus exposure you've ever had encounters with, you will be dealing with. So no matter what, you're not going to know what exactly your symptoms were from what virus. Okay? So there's no avoiding this. You do the J juice to support your body to get it out. Because as soon as you do get exposed to it, at least you're going to be going through the healing process and releasing. Okay? You need to release. People are holding on to their mucus. They're holding on to their shit. They're holding on to stress. They're holding on to a lot of stuff, and it's destroying them. That's why China really is getting afflicted, because they have weaknesses, and they've held on to years and years and years, centuries and thousands of years of just stuff. Okay? And people here are being affected too. It's not just the Chinese. All right, so you guys, it's put up or shut up. It's now or never. Get the cabbage, get the salt. Okay? Get it as cheap as possible. Yeah, you can do the enemas with the J juice, but you don't want to rely on enemas. Yes, but you can do the enemas with the J juice. But here's the thing with enema. Say you don't want to drink it, but you just want to do the enema. When you drink it, your body can let you know how much you could probably take for the healing process. When you do an enema and you hold it in your ass, you're going to be hit out of the blue with the healing process. You don't want to rely on enemas. because you won't know how to gauge how much you can handle as far as the healing process, because healing is no joke. It's painful. So start off slow with the J juice. You can do light enemas if you need to, especially if you're just starting off and you can't do a lot, but you've got to do a lot to get the waterfalls. You've got to get your body used to having it go through the mouth all the way here. You don't want to skip up here, okay? You want to be able to have it go all the way through your alimentary canal. This is what you have to repair, Stephanie. This is the aliment. This is your Silk Road. This is the trade route of your body that's already interrupted. From your mouth all the way through your pharynx, digestive system, nasopharynx, oropharynx, laryngopharynx, esophagus, stomach, liver, gallbladder, pancreas, small intestine, and then large intestine. All of these have to be healed, and then all of the garbage from all the things that are in here that is causing your issues are going to be pushed through your system and out your ass. You don't want to rely on enemas where it's only messing with here, but it's going to take a while, if at all, especially if you're relying on enemas. You really want to go from your mouth all the way to your ass with the J juice. Okay? Because remember, you have excess fatty acid, amino acid, prohormones, and minerals. And you want to release the excess and absorb what you need through the J juice and the food supply and the diet. And use canned food if especially during this time. Okay, but use fresh if it's available as far as the diet. All right, but you should get the book so you get the diet, so you understand that you're not taking in herbs and extracts and detoxes and freaking shakes and eating like donuts and all that stuff. Okay. There's an ebook for like $9. And then I have in my group the video on how to make the juice. It's on YouTube. You can probably find it on my YouTube channel, but I have it easily accessible. And people are asking questions there. Right now I can't really respond. I can only post in my group. I can't respond because I was posting too many videos in different groups that Facebook is like, oh, very good, Stephanie. Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah. But yeah, I was posting too fast yesterday and they're like, oh, stop it. And so they put me on some kind of block, but that's okay. Anyways, I'm going to go. My husband's up right now. His alarm clock went off. So I'm going to make sure he's okay. But you guys, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. This is unprecedented. This is insane. And welcome to the New World Order. Can you handle the environment? Remember, from 7 billion to 500 million is their whole premise. From 7 billion to 500 million. I want you to be part of the 500 million. Bye.